I think banking in general can be, at least opening a small business can be really intimidating.
Yeah.
It has never felt that way working with Bremer. Our business wouldn't exist without an SBA loan. Bremer swooped in, held us under their wing, and walked us through it. And we ended up getting everything we needed. Bremer sees us. I mean, like, really sees us.
They're our cheerleaders behind closed doors, and who knew it was going to be our bankers?
I know, right?
Okay, Tina, baby, we are.
We are we Easter post Easter ready for Mother's Day.
Hello. So if you are listening to this podcast, run over to the ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com YouTube page because this does not typically happen,
Yes.
right? But Tina and I are doing a video podcast this week. So Kelly Taylor and all of our friends and fans, those of you who do not miss the Tina and Sheletta show, go over to the
Over
YouTube
there.
page and you can see us in all our glory. Hi.
Yes. Yes. We got haircuts. We got our makeup on. We got a
All
little
right, we still fresh.
lipstick on.
We still fresh from Easter. We still
Fresh
Easter
from
fresh.
Easter.
We still fresh. We still Easter fresh. That line is lining. That fade is fading. Okay, I
Oh
see
yeah,
you. I
I
see
see
you.
you. I see you. And them lips are popping.
Well, I just did a TV interview because I'm having a happy hour for adults with autism. I just got diagnosed with autism. And look at you. She wasn't ready. She wasn't
I
ready.
wasn't
I just
ready.
I just sprung it on her. She wasn't ready. She got all kind. Look at her face. Y'all.
What? I'm like,
Right. Okay. So this is what happened. So I've been watching this yacht rock documentary with Michael McDonald and Kenny Loggins and Christopher Cross and Ambrosia because I love yacht rock, right? And
uh-huh.
so I love the Doobie Brothers. And so Sean was dropping the kids off one day, and he was like, "What you getting ready to do?" And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna watch yacht rock documentary on HBO Max." He was like, "You do realize you've been watching that every night for like a month? Like every time I come
Okay.
over here, you're watching it." And so that was like, "Oh, that's repetitive behavior. That's what the kids
Mm-hmm.
do." So I
Uh-huh.
was like, let me call my mama. And so I was like, "Mama, when I was a little girl, did I?" She said, "You acted just like your kids." She said, "You would sing songs, you would repeat stuff you heard on TV." I said, "Now why the hell you ain't take me somewhere or tell me this before now?" And she was like, "Girl, they ain't care. You was making good grades. You could sit in your chair and you was fine." But I would always get in trouble for like moving too
Talking.
much, talking, always talking. And she said, like, if the Oscar Mayer, my baloney had a first name came on, because she said that I would just like wake up out my sleep. She said I would sing that shit all day long. And that's all repetitive behaviors and
Okay.
signs that somebody has autism. So there's a organization called the Fraser School, and they test children and adults for autism, and they have all kinds of services and resources. They've been around 90 years. I host their gala for
Uh-huh.
them and do stuff in community with them. And so I called and I was like, "Hey, listen, I think I might have autism." And so I made an appointment. I went in, took a couple of tests, and turns out your girl got autism, child.
Oh my goodness. So that means I mean, if the diagnosis or one of the symptoms is repeated behavior,
Repetitive behavior. Uh-huh.
repetitive behavior, I think, girl, how many other people? Because I'm telling you, I am consistent. There are things that I do every week or every day.
Your ass better get tested. Your ass. And you know what? It was so funny because I did a interview today with a TV station. And girl, so I dressed ready to go, and then I sneezed. And we 53 years old. You can't sneeze because you're gonna pee on
Mm-mm.
yourself. So
Yeah,
I
yeah. You
sneezed,
had a
peed on
witty. You had a
myself.
witty.
Right. So I had to go back upstairs and get changed and clean up and stuff. And so I texted the reporter and I said, "I'll be there at 9:36. I was supposed to be there at 9:30. And she said, "Oh, now I know you got autism because you said you're gonna be here at 9:36.
Uh,
You was right on the dot at 9:36. You came driving up." And I was like, I didn't, when you just the way you've always lived. And I thought about y'all, the people who've been my friends for like 30 and 40 years. Y'all have just always made allowances for me. Y'all knew I was just a little different. And that's
Mm-mm.
just Sheletta. That's
Mm-mm.
just who she is. We're gonna love her
I
anyway.
I'm gonna go all black on you, girl. You ain't got no. That's come from getting spankings. You know what? We have been taught and trained on how to act, and so things that kept us quiet, because when they said you go over there and be quiet and close your mouth,
We knew the
we
hell to
found
be
we
quiet.
we found things that kept us from, whether it be singing or whether it be something that we were doing. I would replay movies in my head, like a whole TV show that I
Yeah,
was have
yo
seen,
ass. You better get
but
checked.
I would replay it like, I mean, know the words verbatim. I watched my kids do that. They were like, "Mom, I just watched the Little Mermaid." I'm like, "You did?" I said, "The TV never came on." She said, "I could replay it in my head every scene throughout, so it would be off for like an hour or something, just
And
doing
just
their own thing."
replaying it.
And so I kept on saying they didn't get spankings, but I'm gonna say half of mine was coming. They made me spend a lot of time by myself because I was probably doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden I find myself alone. So I sometimes I do math, sometimes I just read. So I'm gonna be real black and say, yeah,
See, color
everybody on
folks.
the spectrum.
Colored folks, colored
Mm-hmm.
folks, colored folks. Let me get my benefits. It's a check in there somewhere. It's a check in there somewhere.
we go.
Let's get real black. Do I get do this come with a check?
Does
Can
it
I
come
get
with a
the
check?
benefits?
Well,
Does it
if
come
that
with a check?
if it come with a check, then we go. I'm gonna have to go and rethink it. I may have to go back and go look and see what what skill set that makes me makes me
Autistic, see if you
yeah.
could get some. But and so what I'm doing is I'm having a happy hour for adults with autism tomorrow.
Okay, okay.
And so just inviting everybody to come and hang out because what I realized, because I know how to tap into all the services and resources for children with autism, but then I looked up, girl, ain't nothing for adults with autism. Not a
Yeah.
damn thing. Ain't nothing. Do you hear me? Not nothing. Girl, I was like, where are all the services? Where are all the resources? So as you age out of school-based programming, there's nothing available. I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna have damn happy hour. Everybody who got autism, come, eat, drink. It's on me. So we're having it at the depot in Minneapolis. We're gonna have us a good old time, girl. And I
Okay.
can't wait. I can't wait, girl. And
Okay.
I hope the whole damn city come.
Oh my goodness, that would be that is interesting to hear. I'll just say, because you know what I heard, when you get old, you start getting allergies. We start getting all these ailments.
Girl, I'm
This the
scratching
first
right
time.
now.
This the first time I've ever heard someone with diagnosed
53 years
now
old.
with autism. Well, hey, you know what?
Girl.
Well, miracles and blessings, baby. Miracles and
Girl,
blessings.
look, miracles and blessings. I'm about to go see if I can get me a small business disability designation. You can keep the look. I want the miracles and blessings and the help for my business. I'm like,
Oh,
how does it? Cause you got the disadvantaged business. I'm like, how do I fill this form out again? What I
oh
want
my,
right
oh girl, you go right ahead. Look, I know if there's a will, there's a way, and Shaletta will find it.
here? Girl, okay, that's the name of the new company. Now listen, I have to tell you this, girl. You
Okay.
have a good sixth sense on people. I'm gonna just tell you this. I got,
Oh, do I?
I got Okay, girl, I don't know. Miss Cleo, you could give Miss Cleo a run for her money, baby, because your discernment is on 10.
Really? All right.
Because
What did I do?
everybody that has come to work with me at my company that
Uh
you didn't like, I mean, you don't know them, you ain't met them. You just meet them and you like, that ain't the one. I'm like, she cool. She wasn't cool.
huh.
Girl, had a dude in here. You was like, Shaletta, you better watch out for him. It doesn't look like that's
Mm,
going. Girl,
mm,
next thing I know, this dude trying to take my girl. Then here comes somebody else. You like, she's so fake. I'm like, she
mm,
just stabbed you. Like, that's a mole. You better watch that.
mm.
Girl was a whole mole.
Mo.
Was a
And,
whole. I was like, girl, I had to think about it last night, and I couldn't wait to talk to you today because it's like 5 people that
mm,
came to work with me in the past 5 years that you met in person, and you was like, that's not it, and none of
yeah.
them were it.
Yeah, I know. And you know what I gotta say is, I'm always weary, and maybe because I'm weary and I'm not trusting. And when people want to be like me, if I was just like up your butt all the time, then I would want somebody to be like, fashion, or somebody to be like, Tina. But when people are just too into you like that, I just get worried. And when people are I can almost see people coming when I can see they have an ulterior motive. They want something from you.
You do.
And I was looking, and I mean, there's a couple of people that I haven't really spent a lot of time with, but I think the ones that I did, I got a feeling, and one particular person, I went to an event, I had a feeling, and I was like, I'm just waiting to see the shoe to drop because the person says all the right things at the right time, but I could
Right.
see that person was building their own platform for themselves,
Girl.
and you were kind of like like the jumping block for them to get where they needed to go. So I was really really weary. A couple of people that came through like that, I mean, it's just I'm always weary because, not to say I have fair weather friends, but I have friends. I'd be like, if this happened, would you do this? And they'd be like, no. If this happened, like, if you saw my husband cheating, would you tell me? They'd be like, no, because you already know. Because in my mind, those type of friends, they feel like if I'm seeing it, you already seeing it. But for me, I'm like, I'm just on the outside and I'm looking in, and I'm
Yeah.
always thinking they want something from you. They want something from you.
Girl, you called it. Girl, and I mean, in the last two, I was blown away, and I just see how God is
Oh
just like
yes.
moving folks out of my life, and it's
Hmm.
it's it's almost frightening in a way, because
But
I'm
it's a
like,
good
God,
thing.
who's gonna replace them? Who's gonna take their place? And God was like, if you don't get it out of the way, you're not gonna get the new thing that I have for you.
Yes,
And
right.
and so I'm allowing people to just show who they are and move them out the way. But what I'm doing now is I'm moving quicker.
Move
Like
quicker.
the
Yeah.
the 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 guy who was supposed to be, taking care of the shows. I mean, the first thing he told you was, I want this. I want what she
Yeah.
got.
Yeah. This is what I wanted. I plan to do. I want a company like this. And I'm like, whoop. I'm like, excuse me. I said, did we all, are you telling everybody this? I said, because even though if I had gone in, I said, you know what, Shaletta, I want to shadow you and I want you to be a mentor. And then you said, okay, this is what we'll do, then I'd understand. But if somebody coming in, you have a specific role. If I am the typer or I am the secretary and all I'm supposed to be doing is taking notes, take notes.
Take your damn notes.
Take your notes.
Take
You
your
don't
notes.
supposed to be showing your hand because you know what? 'Cause sometimes and you know what? It was really easy to pull it out of that last person and say, it's like
Girl, that was
I,
he was here for 2 days and got fired. He was here for two. Girl, he finished editing that Just Said Divas podcast, and baby, them Just Said Divas was on the phone talking about he over here trying to take
trying
your.
to tell
He trying to
yeah,
do
I'm gonna come take pictures for y'all. If y'all, I'm like, wait a minute here. I said, did she hire you as the photographer? Did she hire you as the? So you know what? So, but people come in, and that's why you have to be very, very careful how you move now, because 5 years ago was a different Shaletta than the day Shaletta. I mean,
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm so this is hard for me because I'm a people person. And
mhm,
since I'm dealing with folks straight up, I'm thinking people are dealing with me straight up. Since I'm being honest and I'm telling the truth and I'm operating in character and integrity, I'm thinking that when I meet you, you operate in character and integrity too. Girl, this boy was here for 2 days and was
he's
telling everybody he want my platform, and he trying to propose his business to the people that I'm doing business with. Girl, he was here for 48 hours.
yeah. And then you know that ain't right, because if he had come to you and said, you know what, I'm a photographer, I'm a videographer, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a this, you
I'd
would
have
have
put him
made
to work.
yeah, you would have, yeah. And you know what? And don't try to circumvent the person who put you in a position to meet these people. You all be because I kept on saying, well, I pretty much said, we need a photographer. Shaletta usually, kind of helps us orchestrate, what platforms or what we're doing. It requires us to have a videographer or a photographer, and we kind of go through her because I'm like, no, and I didn't want to be that what they call negative Nancy person.
Girl,
I just
you
want.
better tell me. You better tell me, because what I'm doing in this season in my life, girl, especially when you say something about somebody, girl, they asses out. I'm not giving nobody no chances right now. His ass
I
was out
said,
at day two.
I said that first person that left, I said she should have been gone the day we took them pictures that hotel. But I was like, all right, we couldn't even pronounce her name right. So
Girl, we couldn't.
and 5 years I never didn't know her real name. So there you go.
Girl, your discernment is on 10.
Yeah,
Your discernment
Yeah.
is on 10. You are right on the money. And that's why, when people come up to me and say, I want a podcast on your network, I'm like, you know what? We good. I
Yeah.
got the people that I
Hmm.
love. I got the people that I work with. And right now, I'm not trying to jump nobody new in. I'm
Yeah.
working with the same people I've been had, and we're gonna ride this thing on out. We're gonna support each other. We're gonna love each other
Hmm.
because I know that y'all have my back and I have y'all. But girl, I just I don't know. Are we at that level right now? Because I didn't know we were there. I guess
You
everybody knew I was there except me. I didn't know I was
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I knew you were there. So you know what? I'm probably like that. I'm like that. I don't know. I want to say the bodyguard, but I'm like, I'm real, real protective about you. When people be like, I want to meet Sheletta, I'll be like, girl, Sheletta ain't nobody to be meeting. Because I say that because sometimes I already know when, like, particularly one particular person, she was like, I want to do podcast. I wouldn't mind meeting Sheletta, da, 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 da. And it's somebody who know you kind of ish.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was like, I said, well, you know what? Pull together your business plan. Say, what are you trying to do? Why you need to meet Shaletta? I just want to pass some things. Shaletta ain't the kind of person you pass things by. Mm-mm.
yeah.
I gotta be a gatekeeper. That's what I am. I'm
Oh,
the
that's it. That's
gatekeeper.
it. And you
I'm
know
a
what I'm gonna
gatekeeper.
start doing? I'm glad you said it. What I'm gonna start doing when somebody want to come over here, I'm gonna send their ass to you. I'm gonna let you talk to them. I'm gonna let you
Hmm.
vet them because I need right now. I need a personal assistant. I need somebody who gonna pick these kids up. Somebody who gonna pick that laundry up. Girl, my ass was in line at the post office the other day. I ain't
Girl,
got no
let me
business
do it.
in line at no damn post office. So I got a couple of people who sent me notes because I put the feelers out there. I got the job description is out there on the Career Force website here in the state of Minnesota employment office. And so
Hmm.
I got a couple of hits.
Hmm.
And girl, the people are like, oh well, I would love
Mm-mm.
to.
They know your name. Let me go because I'm telling you, for 20 years I was a behavior interviewer for companies. So when people they would bring on, we would do these behavior interviews, and that's I think is something that I keep in the back of my mind. I'm listening for the thing you didn't say. And I'm not
Mm,
listening for what you're telling me. I'm listening for what you did say because I can pull out a person that they'll say, oh, I was punctual and this and this and this. I said, but it's something else that you wasn't doing because nobody can ever find the negative stuff that they were doing. But
yeah,
I'm gonna ask you a question and I'm gonna figure out what
you
that
gonna tell
negative
on
was.
yourself. You gonna tell on yourself.
Because you probably was over there using the printer when everybody was gone. That's what you really were doing. That's why you were there early and on time and punctual because you was printing stuff for the church. Look, there you go. I'm telling you, girl. Look. Let me be the gatekeeper before they,
Baby,
yeah, the screener. I'm a screener
the
before they get to talk
screener,
to you, because I tell
girl.
you, when it's your kids, I'm telling you, there's nobody like your kids. And we see how influence and things can happen with our children, and it don't even take a year of people being around. They
Girl,
got
a
some people that
day.
come. There are people come in there and they can come and undo what you've done in a matter of hours with with what your
Mhm.
your rules are. And sometimes when they're going to be in your kids presence for
Yeah,
any period of time. No, we need to see where you are.
yeah.
You,
Okay.
you didn't did something, you didn't shook a baby or something. I'm gonna figure it out.
She say you done shook a baby. Girl.
Girl,
But
I
yeah,
know.
I'm just glad you in my life. And girl, I promise you, girl, I be trying to give people chances, but girl, I'm not doing it no more, baby. You is 5 for 5. You have not missed yet.
Well,
And
I'm gonna be honest. One of them people, the mole, I really that was something I wondered. I would question that relationship, but I just kind of said,
so okay, so back to the mole. When we start talking about the mole, you did you really think that it was a mole? Did you wha- see? I sometimes was like, this is too good to be true. You think, oh, it's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. So, you just keep going, and you're like, well, maybe it's a blessing. You start thinking it might be a blessing. You're thinking, okay, well, things might, but yeah, I was scared. I was
mm,
scared, but I'm thinking maybe it's a blessing. But you kind of had it in the back of your mind.
oh, her and her husband.
You made me spit.
I was like, what in the world? I was like, that man. Look, for a couple of times I thought it was her company. I was like, were you pulling wagons and dragging stuff?
I'm paying. I'm paying. I'm paying.
I'm gonna let that go. But I'm just telling you, you know what? But again, I'm take it with a grain of salt because I don't
I'm not
trust.
taking nothing with a
I
grain
don't
of salt.
trust. I
I
don't
am
trust too
trusting
many
you.
people.
In
I don't trust
Tina,
too
we
many people.
trust. That's the name of the podcast. In Tina, we
No,
trust. In
no,
Tina, we trust, baby.
girl.
If you don't get them the green light, girl, I can't do it. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna do it because girl, you 5 for 5. You
yeah,
5 for
but
5. And
yeah,
and and we're not gonna let it drag out because you be like, something ain't right, something. I was like, no, they cool. And then two,
uh-huh.
3, 4, 5, 15 months later, all hell breaking loose. I could have stopped that shit
Yeah, at the
on day
beginning.
8.
Yeah, but I'm like I said, we 5 years in, and you have to protect your environment or your circle, as they say. You need to protect your circle.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where you are today is when people hear your name, it's almost like you heard the name LeBron, or you heard that, you heard a name that everybody's going to just like, oh, I know. And I don't know if you, like I said, I don't know if you watch the show Beyond the Gates. This is a new soap
Uh-uh.
opera that's going on, but they have people who want to infiltrate this family because of their name. So they want to
Ah.
be in their presence. They want to be in the. But you know
Yes,
what?
yeah.
Part of that is I need to see what she doing because I think I
Yeah.
can do that better, or I think I can do that, or
Oh, what's
whatever
the
she
secret
doing, she ain't
sauce?
doing. Yes, they trying to find it, so they can't get in there now. Girl,
No, girl, we finna
we.
lock this shit down. We finna lock it down like the
This
C
is
cot,
this is
like that
yes.
El Salvadorian prison. We locking the shit down.
Lock
They
it
ain't
down.
getting in here. They,
It's
they
gonna
can
be
look through a filter.
Fort Knox to get up in this production, get in
No,
this environment, this circle, because I tell you, because I'm going to say it is a privilege and an honor to be able to watch how this flower has blossomed. And for me, I'm going to say that it's kind of like I'm so protective, like no, things have the steps are ordered, and things have just been happening. And like you even said it, like the rocket ship that comes, them little boosters and everything got to fly off. Everything can't go up with you all the way to the top. There's gonna be
no,
some people. So this is kind of where we are. You are on solid rocket on its way to where it needs to be, and you can't go hanging on
no.
to people or bringing people onto the rocket. The rocket already done took off. The
Girl, let me
rocket is
tell you
taking off
something. Folks is falling off so crazy around here. Like the barber who been cutting our hair for 20 plus years. The beautician who been doing my hair for 20 plus years.
because people.
Them 5 folks.
But I'm
Girl,
telling you, because people
family.
begin to feel entitled. They feel entitled, like, I've been here. You should be promoting me. You should be doing this. Like, you should be doing something for them because they've been there. But that's not always the case because our role is to, beautify and enhance and bring this to the production company that we want to see, that we
Mhm.
see every day. We want to see this running across the TV screen and the radio and
Yes.
everything. And and the people coming over here looking for what I want, because just imagine if everybody was said, "What am I going to get out of this?" No, they
Mm.
can't. Everybody can't get something out of this. This
No,
is a this is a this is a this is a part of a bigger plan. This ain't got nothing to do with them, and it ain't
no,
got nothing to
no.
do with me. But I'm gonna
Yeah,
do
oh
it.
yeah,
I'm gonna
you
be the
oh no,
gatekeeper.
ma'am, you is off in here. You was off in here the day we started this company. You got on, and this the thing, girl. You got on a plane. You got on a whole plane and brought your ass to Minnesota in the freezing
It's a
freaking cold
girl
because your friend had an idea. We didn't even
idea.
have no
I
company. We
Yeah,
had
it was an idea.
an idea. We had an idea, and then we didn't know what we were doing. We had
Yeah,
no clue what we were doing. We had an idea.
yeah, exactly.
And
And I'm
and look at
telling
the
you.
idea now. Everybody can see it.
Yeah, I mean everybody want it, girl. Don't nobody want to think
Girl,
about no blueprint for themselves. They want a blueprint that's already there,
it's
rolled
already
up,
there.
and ready to hand off. No,
Mm-mm. No, no, I ain't
no.
mentoring nobody. It's us
Mm-mm.
against the world. And I promise to God from now on, if anybody come through here, I'm sending I'm gonna do an email introduction. Hi, Barbara. This
Yeah.
is Shirley. Remember Barbara and Shirley? Hi, Barbara. This is Shirley. Hi,
Shirley.
Barbara. This is Tina.
Huh? Yes.
You gotta talk to her. She's in
Yeah.
charge of the screening process, and I'll let you ladies take it from here, and then
Yeah.
I'll wait to hear back from you. Yay or nay?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Because I'm telling you, is that we got to be protective. It's
Yeah,
protective mode now.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get that.
yeah, yeah. We do. I'm
Mm,
glad you're
mm.
here for me, girl. I love you.
Yeah. Love you
All right,
too.
we'll see y'all next week.
See you next week.
You know Sheletta makes you laugh, but did you know Sheletta Brundidge can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Sheletta Brundidge founded Sheletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African American subject experts at ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Sheletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Sheletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
What's up, everyone? It's Sheletta. I'm here getting a phone for one of my newly minted teenagers with Xfinity Mobile. They've got great options, affordable plans, and solid coverage that works for our whole family. With Xfinity Mobile, my daughter can stay connected with me wherever she goes. And did you know when you sign up, you can get an extra phone line free for a full year? Switch to Xfinity Mobile today for more savings, more smiles, and more ways to stay connected.